All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Left Hand, Right Brain. I hope this podcast finds you well. And I know I've been away, I guess, for a little bit. But, just dealing with some personal issues, a little bit of burnout. It's been a hard year, So, still back in the saddle doing the thing. And, I'm glad you're still here. So hopefully you'll enjoy this one. I've got my wife, Mallory Vining, on. You may recognize her from the Drunk Wedding Pod, or what it's known now as Let's Get Drunk and Mallory Vining, everybody.
Yay, thanks for having me in my own house.
And I thought since it's spooky season coming up, we could talk about Bram Stoker's Dracula. It's right there in the back of Mallory. Right there, you can see it. Yeah.
Being a book, yeah.
Yes. The it's called Epistolary.
What?
It was written from the viewpoint of journal entries.
Epistolary?
Epistolary, yeah. Yeah, so the epistolary novel.
I actually don't know if that's how it's pronounced. You should pull up Google and be like, hey, how do you say that? Epistolary. We both said it wrong.
Epistolary.
There it is.
I said it right.
No, we both said epistolary. Epistolary.
Epistolary?
Yeah.
Okay.
That sounds bad, though. I think the way we said it was more correct.
Well, it's written from the viewpoint of journal entries, newspaper articles, and I've tried to get a couple other comedians who have found a love of reading recently as well to talk about the novel as well. And it turns out that they couldn't get through the format of such an old school novel.
Interesting.
Yeah. And they insisted on reading it, and I was like, listen to it on audio.
Yeah.
Dum-dums.
Do we want to talk about this now? About our big pro audiobook stance in this family?
Sure. Yeah.
We love audiobooks and we hate physical books.
And we sell plenty of physical books.
Yeah, we have a lot of
see,
physical books. More for clout, I think.
I do like having the physical copy. I do like that we have that there. I do books that I really, really like. I might want to get more on a physical copy of them if I can get my hands on them.
I just think audiobooks are better. I think this is a big thing of is it actually reading? Does it count the same? But in my mind, I think in defense of audiobooks, I think it's better. I think it's how stories were intended to be told. Bram Stoker was a big old theater kid. This is written like a play, so it's meant to be performed. It's better when you have different voices reading it out versus just reading the text. So I think it's improved by the medium.
Yeah, I don't know why people look down on hey, you saying you listen to a book versus reading it.
Yeah.
I think because people who are big readers, they're doing more of the footwork.
Yeah.
So they want to get the credit for it, I guess.
Or maybe they're I'm only doing this. I can't do the dishes or go for a walk. I am only focusing on this thing.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
And I think it makes sense if you're doing something nonfiction or if you're studying, Yeah. I think that is maybe more helpful to read it.
It's all about how you learn, I guess.
Yeah. But yeah, I think storytelling is better auditory.
Yeah. And I do think these words are meant to be spoken aloud, like you were saying. I don't think anybody's writing a book thinking, I hope no one ever says these out loud and they only think about them.
Yeah. And also, I think if the word epistolary had been in this book, we would have both known how to say it.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. When I was a big reader as a kid, but I would read it in text and I would not hear these words spoken in real life. So there's a lot of pronunciations that I have in my mind for what's on the page. And it's not the way they are said in real life.
Right. And I know my buddy, Ethan Everhart, his whole thing is words have meaning. So if you say you read it, that's false. So I think he prefers that there's a different word for saying you listened to a book. I guess he prefer you say that. And he does look down on me for listening to books rather than reading them. I know that, but I do probably get in way more books than he does.
Yeah,
because I'm listening to them. So I'm smarter, but I don't get the cred because I didn't take the time to read it. I don't know.
Yeah, you have more textual knowledge.
Yeah, I keep trying to think of the analogy of okay, we could both, travel, from here to Greeley, but one person walked and I used my car. So it's the person who walked said, "Oh, I did it more," or it was harder for me to do this, so I should get more credit, or I did it a harder way. I don't know.
I think I don't know. I think it's an equal way. It's a preference thing, and then people make it a moral thing.
Yeah.
That's what pisses me off when people are oh, you're less smart. You're like less of a person if you prefer to take a story this way.
I guess when I say like, oh, I read that book, I mean, I have that story in my brain at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I remember I was at an open mic and this guy, and it's when the new Stephen King Salem's Lot came out, and he was saying he really hated the movie. And, you know, he's kind of opening it up to like a Q&A kind of thing at the open mic. And I was like, oh, did you read the book? Because I was like, oh, there's some things that were a lot closer to the book than any of the other movies. And I know that because I listened to the book and I have the book in my brain. I listened to it multiple times. And so he was like, oh, did you read the book? And I go, well, I listened to it. And he was like, oh, very dismissive. He's like, well, then you didn't read the book either. Yeah. I'm like, well, I have the story, the actual story in my mind.
Did neither of those things and is judging you for like taking it in one way.
Yeah, so it's just very frustrating.
It's like,
and everybody else was like, yeah, you don't know what you're talking about either. I'm like, no, idiot. I know more about the book than you do.
Yeah, you illiterate buffoon.
Yeah, so I mean, it's just frustrating, those kinds of things. But I mean, that's neither here nor there. But,
no, I think it's like, I mean, we talk about it a lot, and we talked about it a lot, but and I think specifically with this story, I mean, there's like a lot of different voices, and like each character has a perspective, and I think it's better when you hear a voice that matches up to that, you know?
Yeah, I do think this book lent itself to being an Audible book. Audiobook. I listened to mine on Audible.
I didn't like look into this historically, but Bram Stoker was huge in theater in Ireland when he wrote this. I think he had access where this could have been stage readings, you know?
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So I think he like wrote it with in mind to be a play or like some kind of.
Yeah, I know he was trying to get his actor friends to do a play about it, like as soon as it came out. Just so for the listener, kind of time frame of when Bram Stoker was alive was 1847 to 1912.
And this was written in 1897, right?
Yeah, that was when it was published. So, you know, it's a different time.
Yeah.
You know, because there's a lot of stuff about like blood transfusions. And, you know, this is the time where like modern medicine does seem like magic in a way to a lot of people.
I've seen an argument about this book that it was one of the earliest cases of science fiction, actually. Okay. Because like the way they handle science is magic and medicine is magic and sort of like this almighty, like there's the thing that Dracula is this devil and the only tools to fight him are like the church. But then even more than that, even more important than that is science. Like that's like a bigger tool that this group uses to take out the devil.
It's interesting because, I mean, ultimately they do just use, they use the host a lot, which is a Catholic thing, you know, the body and the blood of Christ. They use
there's like crucifixes
the wafer
and
that's
stuff.
the host. Yeah, but the crucifixes, I think, came more with the movies because the crucifix is
there's a
more...
part where he puts a crucifix on Lucy to protect...
she was wearing a ring of garlic.
He puts a crucifix on her, too.
Oh, he does?
And that's like one of the things that he puts a crucifix on her.
And I think Van Helsing.
Van Helsing. I'm so sorry. Yeah, the character Van Helsing. I don't know. Do we want to go through the plot of this?
I do have a little summary I could read.
Yeah, let's do the summary first, and then we'll get into the...
So, Bram Stoker's Dracula is the tale of the mysterious Count Dracula, a vampire from Transylvania who sets his sights on England. Through journal entries and letters, he follows Jonathan Harker, Mina, and their friends as they uncover Dracula's dark plans and fight to stop him. It's a gothic masterpiece that delves into fear, suspicion, and the battle between good and evil. Thanks, chat.
It was ChatGPT.
Yeah.
I love those.
I do love talking to ChatGPT about books.
Yeah, it's like your book club.
I even titled one of my chat things.
I think it's really helpful for you in that way because like you've read Wheel of Time more than any person I've known. And you've also finished it. I don't know that I know a big percentage of people who have actually read the series, and it was like, third time I got through the series, bitch. He has
Not
to
you.
like,
I'm just like the world.
Yeah,
I'm referring when I say bitch, I'm referring to like
not
the
to
world.
my life, but to the planet.
Yeah.
But yeah, you need AI in this scenario because there's nobody else to talk about it with you.
Yeah, one, there's no one to talk about it. Two, and it helps me. I'm like, okay, this character was in this book. Hey, chat, help me, you know, like what was this character's story from the previous book, and it'll kind of recap it for me. And it's been very helpful in that way, I find. So I like it quite a bit. And so I just, got a little summary about Dracula.
Could read the back of the book.
Yeah, I mean, did you want to try and read? Do you want to try and read it and see if it sounds better?
Dracula, Bram Stoker's gothic thriller recounting the exploits of an aristocratic vampire, has transfixed and haunted generations of readers. Perhaps the most seductive villain in Western literature, bloodthirsty Count Dracula has inspired countless movies, books, and plays. Few of these, however, have been fully faithful to Stoker's original best-selling novel of mystery and horror, love and death, sin and redemption. It's pretty good.
I mean, yeah, that's good. It's
pretty
good.
Sexy. And then it goes through like
But it's
more.
talking about the adaptations more than the...
Do you want me to keep reading? There's more.
Summary of the book.
Would you want me to keep reading?
I guess.
I can.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Written in the form of letters, diary entries, and news bits. Epistolary.
Epistolary.
Dracula chronicles the vampire's journey from his Transylvanian castle to the nightmare streets of London. That sounds kind of shitty, like the nightmare streets of London.
Yeah, man, it's a big city.
Yeah, right?
It's the big city.
It's a big city. There, he searches for the blood he needs to stay alive, the blood of strong men and beautiful women, while his enemies plot to rid the world of his frightful power. This kind of seems like it's on Dracula's side.
Yeah, it is funny because, they're referring to the good guys, quote, as his enemies.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I mean, they are, but...
Yeah, but like it's weird that it's taking his perspective on it.
I mean,
anyway,
it's his book. It's
his book,
yeah.
you know?
It's titled Dracula.
Right. The now famous cast of characters includes the English solicitor, Jonathan Harker, his fiancée, the enchanting Mina Murray. I wouldn't describe her as enchanting. I think that's the wrong word for it.
Interesting. Well, everybody that sees her loves her.
Yeah, but I think that's charismatic, maybe? Intelligent?
Enchanting's a good word. Why don't you like it?
Enchanting is like frilly to me. Mina's not like super frilly.
Isn't she?
No. Mina? Lucy's frilly.
No, Mina is...
Lucy's
got the goods.
Mina's like a code breaker. She's like, her whole thing is like super intelligence.
Mina?
Yeah.
That's enchanting.
No,
her intelligence.
I think that's the wrong word.
I'm in love with her big old brains.
Yeah, right. That is actually a line that Van Helsing, I wrote it down. I'm going to read it later.
Okay, yeah.
I wrote a lot of things down.
Okay, yeah.
Let's see. Okay. And Van Helsing, the mysterious Dutch doctor and expert vampire killer. I would not characterize him as an expert.
He learns as he's going.
Yeah, this is like, that doesn't make you an expert. This guy is like,
okay.
This guy's
Why are you trying
doing...
to cut all these guys down? Are you on Dracula's side?
I'm just saying, like, I think this is disingenuous to call him an expert.
You're doing Dracula.
This guy's
channeling
like doing amateur
Dracula,
stuff. He's
reading the summary of this book, being like, he wasn't
like
that great.
Not a professional vampire killer.
Yeah, he's a doctor.
Yeah, he's a doctor. He's just like, vampire killing turns out to be his hobby.
Right.
So, through Dracula's undertones of dark sexuality, though Dracula's undertones of dark sexuality have always been of interest to readers, today's critics see the novel as a virtual textbook on Victorian repression of the erotic and fear of female sexuality. I agree with that. Yeah.
Interesting.
And
Dracula's a dude.
Yeah, so he's repressed. Yeah. But the novel's about women.
Female sexuality.
Yeah, the repression of...
I mean, they're getting it.
We can get into it.
Okay.
Let's see. In Dracula, Stoker created a new word for terror, a new myth to feed our nightmares, and a character who will undoubtedly outlive us all. Ooh, that's kind of good.
Yeah,
better than Chat. I'm sorry.
No, yeah. I mean, yes, that was a lot better than Chat. I do like that most of it was like everyone else gets it wrong.
Yeah. I mean, like it was better written in general.
Yeah, but I do like that most of that sleeve cover was like the movies don't get it right. Yeah,
this book is the the way that Mina is described by Van Helsing is she has a man's brain, a brain that a man should have were he much gifted, and a woman's heart. The good God fashioned her for a purpose. Believe me when he made that so good combination. Which is kind of interesting because they're like, women are always dumb, men always smart.
Yeah, I don't.
Women always have a good heart.
Well, you'd hope so.
That's not true.
I know you'd hope so, but
that's not true. Yeah,
it's
he's
not
just
true,
like, it was just to say like these genders: men smart, bad heart; women dumb, good heart.
I mean, yeah, Van Helsing's accent and the way they write him doesn't do him any favors.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, because he's Dutch.
Yeah, the Dutch accent is tough to listen to. Like, I mean, in the book because it's very over the top.
In the version I read, which is an Audible exclusive, Tim Curry does the voice of Van Helsing.
See, I listened to the Libby version, so it's a lot of pores.
Just regular people.
Regular people reading books.
Yeah, I like whenever I find Tim Curry narrating something, I try and get it.
He is, excellent narrator.
Yeah, although I'm questioning the whole Audible thing. Apparently, I just heard some BookTube stuff where they're talking about how you don't actually own the books that you buy; you're licensing them out.
Yes,
and that's very frustrating for me because I've been
Oh wow,
like
Amazon,
an
the evil
Audible,
company, did an evil thing. Oh, wow.
and I think there's the same thing with the movies. You
Yeah.
don't actually own the movies either.
Yeah, that's like a thing with all of it.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a fan of physical media. That's probably why I like getting the books as well.
We have to have physical media, otherwise they're going to take it from us. They just erase shit.
Yeah, but then I got to listen to Dracula.
Yeah, I mean, you could listen to Libby. I mean, it doesn't
Libby's
have Tim Curry.
the free library app.
Yes,
that
which I'm a big fan of.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I hate Audible.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I mean, I can see the reason for it.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's do a little bit of the character Mina. She's the virtuous bestest woman that ever was.
Yes.
There's also Lucy, who's her friend, and she gets bitten first.
Who begins as a bestest woman, but she's a dumb one. Like, it's interesting, the juxtaposition of like how they talk about Lucy and how they talk about Mina. Like, Lucy is sort of described as being almost childlike. Like, everybody's sort of walking around her. Nobody tells her what's going on as she is being drained by Dracula. And it's like, night after night, like he's like draining her. Helsing has all these like ways to protect her, but he's not telling anybody what he's doing. So he's just like doing kind of weird shit from their perspective, and then they undo it and he's like, what are you doing? And then she gets like a little sicker and a little sicker every night, and then eventually dies. But it's like Helsing being bad at his job is why Lucy dies.
Well, I do think I also listened to a Mythgard Academy podcast about the book as well, and they were talking about how at the beginning Van Helsing's not sure if it's vampirism either. Yeah. So he's doing his research, he's going away.
He's using her as a test subject.
Kind of, yeah, in a way. He's trying to diagnose the problem. He's like, now that I've correctly diagnosed this thing, we can treat it. And he got the garlic and the stuff, and Lucy's mom keeps fucking him over because every time he leaves at night,
she's
to
like,
go do more research.
She's we gotta get this out of here. Open a window.
Fucking garlic.
Yeah, as Dracula is beating on the window every night.
Yeah, but I think Van Helsing is a little worried about being like, it's vampires, and then people being like, you're crazy.
Yeah.
Guess what? I have a insane asylum you can go right into.
Yeah.
Because who's the insane asylum guy?
Dr. Seward.
Yeah, Dr. Seward is also Seward. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Is also he runs an insane asylum where Renfield is.
Mm-hmm.
Classic. From the movies is like Renfield is like a character of like a how would you describe it? Kind of like a Gollum-ish character who's like enslaved to the Igor. Just like does the bidding of
like the
Dracula
the familiar.
Or whatever. Yeah. And he's not exactly like that in this book.
Yeah, he's almost useless. There's almost no narrative point to having him in the story, in the book.
Yeah, it is a side plot, So there are things where he like consents Dracula, he's and something.
And he's warning of Dracula, but he's crazy, so like nobody believes him, and
Yeah, but then when he meets Mina, who's the bestest woman ever, he totally does a 180 and he's like, oh no, I got to protect her.
I got to save the bestest woman ever.
Yeah, from Dracula.
She got a man brain. You got to save a woman with a man brain.
Yeah. I mean, part of me is like, that's how they talked back then. Dumb.
Yeah.
So don't take it too harsh, Mallory.
I mean, I think it's like, the juxtaposition of, I mean, it's a timeless book, but then if you do read it with like a modern lens, there are things that are like, particularly about how women are treated.
Yeah,
in the books.
There's more of a, I don't know what you'd call it. I mean, old fashioned, thoughts about, where a woman's
it's very
places
gendered
and stuff.
And I think what's interesting with this book is because the way that it talks about science and treats science, it talks about like a lot of pseudosciences as like, these are hard facts. Like it talks about the one where it's like the shape of your forehead decides if you're like a smart, like he's like, I could tell you're a good guy because of those eyebrows. And they're like, aha, I see you're a master of whatever that is. And they treat it like in the book, they're like, oh, this is a real thing. And this is why this guy is a good guy. Because of his eyebrows.
Yeah.
Or like why you can tell.
You have a big forehead.
Yeah.
Therefore, you must have a bigger brain in there. So you're smarter kind of stuff. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's not all, not all great.
Yeah. But it is interesting of like, just the way like science.
But you have to take this as science in this book because that's what they knew about in that time.
Yeah. And that's how he's treating
it. And they really treat it as like, okay, this is a modern day problem. Even in the Bram Stoker novel, they're not like, this happened 20 years ago or anything. This was like, this is happening right now. And they said in the book, like at the beginning, it's just basically like, hey, all this you're going to read may sound crazy, but it's true. So he frames the book in that way, which I think allows the reader to have like a suspension of disbelief. I guess, and it's hard looking back at it now because it's been in the zeitgeist for so long, So back then the term vampire wasn't as like, you don't think Dracula when you think vampire.
Mhm.
This is like the book that made that. So when they say vampire, they always just think bat in the book. Anything that's funny?
The bat? Yeah.
Yeah, well, they
bat?
think of the bat more than, if you're like, oh, that's a vampire.
Yeah.
They'd think of the bat, not a blood-sucking
Oh, yes.
fiend.
Okay, the type of bat.
Yeah.
Vampire bat.
Yeah, because they say like, oh.
Yeah, there's a part where they like talk about like, oh, and then I think it's Quincy Morris, who I think we've talked about this, best character in the book. He's the American cowboy.
Well, I mean, I do think it's fun that in this time in a lot of books, I think from London, they do like romanticize American characters.
Mm-hmm.
It's like in this one, the Quincy Jones is a Texan.
Morris.
Yeah, Quincy Morris, sorry. Is a Texan guy who's, low-key probably one of the funner, better characters in the book. He does slay Dracula at the end with Jonathan Harker, but he's the one who...
No, he slays the last of the Romani, doesn't? No, he does.
Yeah, but he's there and he stabs Dracula in the heart with a Bowie knife, not a stake.
Yeah.
And Harker slits Dracula's throat.
Yeah, so it's a team. Yeah,
it's a team effort, but he's the one, and he also gets killed at the end by Dracula too.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those you stab me, I stab you classic endings.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so there's that. English people writing about America as like this, land of I don't know, not opportunity, but like, I don't know, fun, excitement. It's the unknown to them. It's the Wild West.
And the way they describe Morris as being like, oh, he is like all of Americans, right? Where it's like, oh, like he's the best of men. He's very stalwart and like not super intelligent, but he's got a lot of like energy and like he's charming and every obstacle that comes in their way, he's sort of got this like, like, well, let's just get it together. I'm on your side. Well, let's keep going. He's just sort of like indomitable, I guess, in the face of all this fear.
Thinking about a Sherlock Holmes novel, because I have a collection of those as well, and like either the first or second story of Sherlock Holmes is like they allude to like the crazy Utah Mormons, they're just like, well, isn't this a crazy religion thing? Like, I don't know, it's just like it's like a token thing of like, this is wacky and crazy and foreign. So I don't know, I do think that they things that we think are mundane, they are infantilizing might not be the right word in the book. I guess we should maybe kind of go in chronological order of the book, or do you want to just keep talking about it? Because the Lucy thing comes up, but the very first
it's the book begins with Jonathan Harker
going to
at Dracula's couch, which I think is interesting. Like, and I think to me this book is like the first found footage story. Mm-hmm. Of like horror, which is like a big genre now with like Blair Witch and Cloverfield, and it was sort of an example of like how this medium has transformed through time. Mm-hmm. But so the book begins usually with a horror movie. It's the monster sort of invading your space, and then you go to its lair and then to fight it. But this is like this reversal where the book begins in the lair, and then it like comes out of hiding and then and attacks, and then they have to deal with it.
Yeah, well, they do eventually, or he's trying to get back to his lair, but they're chasing it down. Yeah, so it starts off with Jonathan Harker, who's Mina's husband or fiance at this point, going to Count Dracula's house because Dracula's trying to buy a house in London. And
I think the reason he wants to buy a house is because all of the locals in Transylvania are aware that he is a vampire. Like at this point, they're like, they know that he's a monster. They have a lot of protections against him. They've got garlic.
Yeah, they all know. Yeah. As Harker's going towards Dracula's castle, they're all like, don't go there.
Yeah.
Here, wear this cross.
And if he goes out and like is caught, I think he would be killed pretty quickly. By the locals. So I think the reason he wants to go to London is because nobody would know how to fight him.
Yeah.
Like he could feed freely. And like that's like something, he gets younger and more healthy as he feeds. So like in Transylvania in the beginning of the book, he's old.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like the description of him is a very like Nosferatu. Like I think the film, the Eggers film that just came out, like that physicality is like the closest to how the book is describing him.
Yeah, it's a lot closer to that. Yeah. Which Nosferatu is like a German film that they kind of ripped off the whole Dracula thing.
Yeah.
To try and get around the
and
copyright
they do use
law.
The word Nosferatu in this book.
Right.
To it, so.
Yeah, I think it's a German word for like devil or something like that. But anyway, so Nosferatu is a lot like Dracula because they were, trying to do Dracula without having to pay the Bram Stoker family.
Yeah.
and then they got sued. They couldn't. I think they destroyed most of the copies there, but some got over to America, and then that's when it blew up as a film.
Yeah. And we're talking about the silent film, not the
the way old, silent film. But anyway, so Jonathan's going over there. Well, Dracula's can go out in the daylight. That's something different in the book.
He can.
Yeah, because he's dressing up in Jonathan's clothes.
He has to he can go out. He just has to be covered. His skin has to be covered.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, because they don't get into the specifics on that, but he does have Harker write a bunch of letters to saying like, "Hey, I'm okay. I'm going to be traveling and blah blah blah." And he steals all of Jonathan's clothes and he wears them and he goes into town. Yeah. So that the townspeople think that he's around doing stuff. Yeah. And they want to blame all the bad stuff that's happening on Harker. So like he steals a little kid from a lady and he feeds it to his brides. Yeah. Quote unquote. Although
which I think is like a kind of a crazy, because you see the brides, like they feed on a kid and then the next day there's a woman like banging on the castle. Like, where's my baby?
She says, "Monster, give me my kid back."
Yeah. And it's like, oh, that's like so sad because we just saw this kid die. Like we know this is it.
And Dracula calls the wolves and then they eat her.
Oh yeah. I forgot that part.
And then Harker's like, "That's probably for the best. I saw what happened to her kid."
Yeah, like she's not going to be, this is not a good ending for her either way.
Yeah, so Dracula's doing a lot of stuff and he keeps referring to himself. He's like, "I'm master here, I'm boyar," I think, which is like a word there for like, kind of some kind of royalty or some kind of, noble in a way. And what I think is very interesting is like the history of Dracula. He talks about like the Turks coming he's a descendant of like Odin and like coming down and having fighting with the ferocity of like the wolves and stuff like that. Yeah,
like he talks about all these battles and like Harker at this point does not know the nature of what this guy is. So he's talking about it like he was there, which is impossible because that was hundreds and thousands of years ago. So like, he's like, I don't understand. But like, that's like the first clue in the book of like, oh, this is like some kind of ancient demon thing.
Yeah, and all that. There's so much like interesting lore that's alluded to that's never really followed up on.
Yeah.
Which I think is like the key to making a fucking awesome like fantasy novel.
Yeah.
Something that can like stand the test of time is like hinting to a deeper world. Yeah. I think that's something that Tolkien did very well. So Jonathan eventually figures out like, oh, I'm a prisoner here. So he, is getting more and more desperate to escape. And he's there for like a month.
Yeah.
Well, Dracula's doing a bunch of stuff, getting his things together. And so your view of it is that he's going to England because he thinks it'll be fresher hunting.
Yeah. Like nobody has any awareness of him there. So he can kind of move around pretty freely without being stopped.
Yeah. But he really has to like set up a bunch of stuff because he
has to sleep in his grave dirt.
Yeah, he has to have his grave dirt. And he has to. Yeah, I mean, he can't like cross running water. So like the getting over the ocean is a big risk. Like he's leaving it all. He's putting it all on the line.
Yeah,
something I didn't really think about too much.
Which I think shows how desperate he is and like how kind of trapped he's become by like living on his feeding ground.
Yeah. Don't shit where you eat, huh?
Yeah.
But the Dracula's bride thing I wanted to bring up because they never actually refer to them as his brides.
Yeah.
And there's this interesting line where they're like, "You don't love, you never love."
This is very interesting because there's a part where later in the book, Mina has been fed on by Dracula and has been forced to feed off of him. So she is turning. And like it's at the point where if she were to die, she would immediately become a vampire. And all of the men around her at this point are like really working really hard to protect her and to keep her safe. And they're like, if she dies, if she becomes a vampire, then we will become vampires. Like we'll go with her. We're not going to like make her go alone into this. And like, there's this sort of comparison of like, oh, like, is that how this Dracula came to be with his, like Harker has the thought of like,
oh, interesting.
Is this how that happened? With like Dracula and his brides.
Huh. Yeah, I don't recall that part too much. And it's just interesting
it's after
how
she gets burned on the forehead with the communion.
The wafer. Yeah. See, wafer is a big part of it. Because it's in that class that I listened to, they're saying that's actually the body of Christ. It represents the transubstantiation that takes place in Catholicism, where that's like actually the body of Christ, and therefore Dracula, nothing evil can touch it, kind of a thing.
But yeah, so there's like the line where they're like saying like, oh, you can't love, and he's saying, how can you say that to me after everything that we've been through?
Yeah.
and I think, yeah, but when you're talking about lore, I think this alludes to what was that lore?
Yeah, like, that's an interesting story right there.
Yeah.
Like, that's what Dracula Untold should have been about,
Yeah. Right.
Luke Evans. I mean, what a waste of. Could have
Luke
been
Evans,
a dope ass Dracula.
Yeah, he's the most abbed out Dracula for sure.
Yeah, and I think that was based on the what's the Turkish guy, the Count or Vladimir.
Yeah, Vlad the Impaler.
Yeah, Vlad the Impaler. I think they're really going with that lore.
Yeah.
But in a couple Bram Stoker like history things I watched on YouTube, they were saying that Bram Stoker took from a bunch of different things.
Mm-hmm.
So like Dracula isn't a 1-to-1 comparison to Vlad the Impaler.
Yeah, there's also the Elizabeth de Bathory, who is like a famous historical vampire. If you're familiar, she's a
no, please.
She's a Hungarian, I believe, countess who took young poor girls that lived in the villages around and had them brought to her palace, and then she would basically bathe in their blood as a way to keep young forever. So,
nice.
Yeah. But then there's some like historical questionability about it, and it's basically, is this actually just a powerful woman that people wanted to bring down, so they called her a witch? Did she actually do like this blood ritual stuff, or is it just like a woman in power that people didn't want to be?
Right.
So they're like, well, she's doing blood stuff, so burn her.
Right.
So
not ideal.
Actually, I think she was imprisoned eventually until she died. So, but
better.
Could be. Yeah, right. There's also something, I think it's like Gilly something. He was Joan of Arc's right-hand man, and he was like basically the first serial killer, and there's a lot of vampiric lore that's based on him.
Joan of Arc's right-hand man?
Yeah, his name is Gilly. It's like Gilles. It's French, but he was like a French lord who, after her death, he was turned out to be doing a lot of real fucked up serial killing shit. So
I'm sure there's a lot more violence like that back in the day than we know about, because it was easier to get away with shit.
Especially if you're a lord, right? Like, nobody's gonna like
mass killing shit.
You have to really do some fucked up shit before people are like, all right, that was a lot of kids. Like Elizabeth de Bathory didn't get caught until she like actually took a minor lordling's daughter.
So they only cared when it was a white girl.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I mean, there's a lot of parallels you can draw from the Dracula
historically.
Thing. Yeah, people are coming to help Dracula out. They're getting stuff shipped over. They're putting they label it as clay, all his dirt, and he gets in there, and Jonathan eventually figures out, he's like, this is like, he's gonna kill me tomorrow. Oh, because he hears Dracula being like telling his brides, quote unquote, the 3 ladies, like, hey, you can have him tomorrow. You can have him tomorrow. Like, and so he's like, I got to get out of here. He climbs the castle.
His whole escape thing.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of that part where he's like, he kind of wants the brides to take him. Like, he's he's turned on by it for sure. And he's like, oh my God, if Mina ever knew how hot this made me. Yeah,
he's like, oh, I hope Mina doesn't read these words, which she does.
And translates them.
Yeah, she like transcribes it 3 times for 3 different people.
And like sets it out, has it bound up. And she's like, oh, interesting. Yeah.
But yeah, because there's this whole thing where when Jonathan Harker gets to Dracula's castle, Dracula invites him in, and Dracula makes this whole big stink about like, come in of your own free will, like you have to cross my threshold.
Yeah,
which is the reverse of
the vampire.
Yeah, most of the vampire lore now. I mean, he does have to get invited into like Lucy's house and stuff, but
he can also do some hypnotism to make people let him in.
Yeah, there's some trickery. Some devilishness, if you will. And so Jonathan goes in there, and then there's also an interesting point where Dracula tells him, he's like, if you're going to sleep, only sleep in your room. Yeah. You sleep in here or your room. Don't go anywhere else in the castle.
Yeah. And don't open any of the locked doors. Like, don't try to get in there. Like,
and so and then Jonathan does go into a room. He's like, oh, it looks like a ladies' room, or a room that ladies would be in. He falls asleep on the couch, and that's when the ladies find him. Yeah. And they try to feed on him, or they almost feed on him. And I do think it's sexual in nature. I listened to a guy reviewing it, and he was like, oh my God, this was so hot. This is so hot. And I was like, dude, you're a repressed Christian or something who's just reading, like, getting some smut for the first time. I was like, this was nothing.
I do think like the language like that Bram Stoker uses to describe things is very beautiful. So I think there is like the way that he talks about, these like wild women and they're like pawing at him. Like, yeah, it's hot.
Yeah, but in that class, the Tolkien professor, he runs at the Mythgard Academy stuff. He was saying that it's more akin. It reads more to him as like animals like frothing to eat more so than like a sexual thing.
And that's interesting because I disagree with that, the animalistic. I do think that the vampire biting is an allegory for sex. Like it's like penetrative.
Yeah, there's an exchange of fluids.
Yeah, exactly. So like it is this, instead of saying like they took of each other's bodies or something, it's like, oh, like this is a sexual thing. And it's like, oh, I don't want this to happen, but then also I want this to happen. And,
yeah, because he talks about Harker.
It would like to do this is a sin, but like also hot.
Yeah.
And
so Jonathan puts himself in their power, I guess, in a way, by like sleeping on their couch. He's also crossing a threshold in a way, and so the evil is able to work themselves upon him because he puts himself in their power,
path,
which I think is an interesting metaphor for evil as well. And something in Tolkien,
temptation.
Yeah. In Tolkien, and a lot of like fairy tale like lore, or not fairy tale, but fantasy is like evil ultimately it destroys itself.
Yeah,
and I do like that a lot. I love those like when the story wraps up like that. And I mean, I guess you could say the parallel at the end is like Dracula's unable to trust anybody. So he ends up not being able to get back to his castle quick enough to escape his hunters at the end, and so they get him. Should we keep hitting these plot points, you think? Because it might take a lot longer.
It's gonna take a minute to get through it if we go through the whole major.
Well, because I wanted to introduce the Lucy thing, because the Lucy thing I think is left out of a lot of the movies recently.
Well, I think it's the part that they kind of brush through the quickest, but when you read the book, it is a big part of the
chunk
book.
Of the book.
But a lot of it is like it's over times, right? So, but it's kind of the same thing keeps happening. Like, Lucy is like basically the hottest woman in England.
Yeah, she gets hit up. She gets proposed to 3 times in
one
day.
They're all like 3 best friends too.
Yeah, they're all friends.
Like it's like these guys are like bros, and they're all like, which is so weird that they don't talk to each other and be like, I think I want to propose. And like one is Seward, who is the insane asylum warden.
Yeah.
The other's Quincy Morris, the hottest cowboy in the West, and then there's Arthur Holmwood. Is that his name?
I think so.
Arthur
Holmwood.
Holmwood, who is a lord. Obviously that's when she picks, but like their proposals are very funny because like Seward is like, you could be like my sucker as I am trying
his
to
water
sucker, like
sucker,
the thing that like
sookie,
like the thing that soothes me. That's like,
interesting.
That makes my hard life easier as I try to run this insane asylum.
Yeah, you could be living in an insane asylum with me.
Yeah, right.
Doesn't that sound nice?
You can like, help bear the burdens of that and make it easier for me. And it's like, ugh, right. Yeah. Not a good proposal. Quincy Morris is like, you can be by my campfire. Like, I'd like it if
he uses a lot of like slang.
Yeah, cozy up to me. And then she's like, I'm like an English lady.
Although Quincy gets the most action out of her. He's like, can you kiss? Can I get a kiss?
That is true. He's like, she says no.
him.
And then he's like, wow, if you could kiss. It's very like Gimli. We're talking Tolkien.
Gimli, Galadriel kind of a thing.
Yeah, if I could but have a kiss, that would make me pretty happy.
And then she does. And then he's like, we're friends.
We're best friends.
We're friends now.
We're friends now. She picks Arthur, the Lord, and like there's like so many parts of this book where they're like, it is so fucking great that Arthur's rich and Lord. Like we are getting through so much stuff a lot easier because he is rich.
Yeah, they can afford to buy
funny.
tickets to follow Dracula.
To me, it's like Bram Stoker being like, it is just easier to be in England if you are a rich English lord.
Yeah, there's a lot of these subtle, I don't know, what would you call them, like hints or like things that are alluding to social injustices at the time or things like that, because they were saying that like Dracula's an outsider. He's coming to...
Yeah, it's like this whole post-colonial metaphor where England is at this point where they're like very afraid of the other and the immigrant.
In 1890.
Yeah.
The 1890s, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then, and
like the demonization of that.
Yeah, and it's fun because we just watched The Gilded Age.
Yeah.
So now my mindset's always like, what's happening in the Gilded Age at this time? And like electricity's getting invented. They're building the Brooklyn Bridge.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah. So, it's just these crazy innovations, and the lavish lifestyle, the Gilded Age of America. And like America's like this, English lords are coming to America to marry American women. Yeah, so that they can fund their estates back home, which is the kind of how Downton Abbey starts,
right.
So That's where I'm coming from with this 1890s mindset here.
Well, and I think class is so important because I think as Americans we don't really conceptualize
the class thing of like a lord versus
just like how big of a deal it is to them. You know, and like and how Dracula is kind of able to move around in this world as a lord, even though he is like this like other. You know, he has a little bit more
in Transylvania,
permission.
He can fucking steal some girls.
Yeah.
Some lady's kid and nobody's going to say nothing.
Getting to England, like he buys a huge house that's next door to like Seward's, and he like has access to everything. You know, he's got a chapel, he's got a river running through there. He's got a fucking. So he has the same resources as Arthur, so they have to have Arthur to like sort of combat him.
Yeah, because there's a part where they're trying to get information about Dracula. Jonathan goes, who has no name. He's just kind of a regular dude, and he goes to the real estate agent of Dracula, and he's like, hey, can you tell me who, give me the information of who bought this house or
like,
whatever.
No, you poor.
Basically not. Yeah. And then he's like, what about I have
friend.
Arthur, Sir
Lord
Arthur whatever.
Homewood.
Yeah, and he's like, okay, yeah, if Homewood writes me, I'll give him the information.
Yeah.
And that's something that Dracula knows about, and he's nervous about when he's talking to Harker. Is that Harker?
Yeah, it's Harker.
Yeah, and when he's talking to Jonathan at the beginning, he's like, "Oh, you speak English really well," and he's like, "I know, but if I go to London, they're going to know me as a foreigner. I'm not going to be anybody. I'd rather be able to blend in if I can't be Lord."
Yeah.
So, Dracula knows that they're going to have no loyalty to him.
Yeah.
Or there's no, he's at the bottom rung of the hierarchy.
Yeah, even going in as a lord.
With money, but he has no.
I mean, he's a count.
Yeah, he has. Yeah. Yeah, an account would be like a duke, I guess.
No, a count is a count. It's just like basically.
Oh, I thought it was different in Transylvania versus.
No, I mean,
London.
like a duke is basically.
Well, the boyar. The boyar is the word he uses in Transylvania.
I think that's like an old word too. So we'd have to look up what boyar means.
See, this is why I could use chat. Here.
Yeah, right.
I'm gonna demonstrate.
Could be wrong though.
I guess. Hey, chat. I'm reading the Dracula book and. I was curious when Dracula refers to himself as boyar. What's that in the context of now?
Great question. So a boyar was a member of the old aristocracy in places like Romania and Russia, kind of like a noble or lord. When Dracula refers to himself that way, he's saying he's part of this elite landowning class. Today, it's like someone calling themselves a count or duke, super old school fancy. It definitely adds to his mystique and makes him feel even more timeless and powerful, even now.
Thanks, chat. You're so great. Do you want to do this podcast with me?
How dare you?
No, I'm just joking.
Thank you, chat. That you weren't supposed to have a woman voice for your chat GPT.
And I told you, I ain't going to have no man telling me nothing.
Yeah, you need to have a man voice talking to you.
But yeah, I mean, that's what it's great for.
Yeah.
Okay. You think it's lying?
No, I don't think, I don't implicitly trust it
okay.
All,
Okay. Well, you know. Yeah, I mean, I know it's known to, and you work more closely with tech. So.
Yeah. I guess, yeah. And I think it is like just like a hot button thing, like people get in a lot of trouble just like bringing it up, I worry for you getting canceled for using AI.
This is like on that my podcast?
No, this is like that episode of The Studio, when like they're like, oh, like we have to like worry about like how we're
Apple
casting
TV series.
people. Yeah, with like the Seth Rogen. Then we had to like spend all this time thinking about like casting people and who we're gonna put in this.
Yeah.
And then like they overwork themselves trying to get, like just be correct and like get nobody mad at them. And then it turns out they sort of offhanded agreed to use AI for one of the for the
that's
project.
What everybody gets
and
mad
that's the
about.
thing that people are like, fuck you.
Yeah. I'm glad you brought your voice down to say fuck you on the podcast.
The way they said it, they were like they were really shouting it. Fuck you.
Yeah, so he's a landowner, he's a lord.
Yes.
Count when he comes to England. Yeah, but that means a lot. I mean, that's something also in like the Lord of the Rings, like that servant master relationship that Frodo and Sam have. Mm-hmm. So crazy.
Very English.
Yeah, very English. So true.
But yeah, so
what does that make Quincy? Quincy's because he
American.
like hunts with Arthur, right?
Yeah.
Arthur Homewood, they're like best buds. So he gets some status from being American and also
it's not
being the guest
status.
of,
He's not like an equal to him in society.
No, but he gets some kind of clout for being the Lord's friend.
Yeah. But he doesn't have the same power.
No, he doesn't have any
it's an unequal,
actual power, but he has social cachet because he hangs out with the Lord.
I think versus
okay, wow, okay,
yeah. I mean, he's like an American. He's a cowboy. He's not coming in with a lot of money. Like he's just like
Quincy Morris, famous for being like, we got to have more guns.
Yeah, more
to
guns.
fight Dracula.
You know what we need? Smith & Wesson.
Yeah, that's exactly what he says.
Yeah. Which, honestly, not wrong.
Yeah, he's not wrong.
Yeah.
So Dracula does end up getting over to London. You don't know what happens to Jonathan at the end. He just in his book, in his diary, he writes, "Hey, I'm gonna go, try to climb away to my escape.
Yeah, and
goodbye, cruel world."
And he could be
kind of a
dead.
thing.
Yeah.
And so,
and then I think one of the most interesting part of the books, and this was like recently made into a movie like a couple years ago, which is like the Voyage of the Demeter.
Yeah, I do want to watch this movie.
Yeah, and it's basically just like this boat, and I think what's so interesting, I mean, like this is one of my favorite kinds of horror, where it's like that you're trapped. It's like Alien, right? You're trapped with the monster in an enclosed space. There is no way out, and there is a certain point where you have the power to overwhelm the monster, but like you don't, like everybody's sort of like not believing, that like how much danger they're in, and then it's like that point, and then it turns, and then they've run out of manpower, and there's no way to come back from it.
There's a lot of parallels you could draw to things happening today in America.
Yeah,
scary.
Yeah, point of no return.
Yeah, scary stuff.
Yeah, like there's like a point where you can fight it, and then you kind of like either have to have your last, and I think this story kind of ends with a last stand.
Yeah, well, in the book, Dracula basically is steering the ship by using the power of wind.
Yeah,
and
in the movie it's great because like they're like, we cannot let this thing get to London, we have to stop it, so they basically like conspire to bring the ship down and like drown everybody.
Yeah. And in the Dracula book, he just slowly kills everybody on the boat till it's the captain and like the first mate. And then the captain thinks the first mate's the one who killed everybody until he sees Dracula, and then he lashes himself to the steering wheel with crosses, and he writes a message in a bottle that he has on his persons. Yeah, and that's like how you get that story in the book. Yeah, it's his like final diaries.
Yeah, it's like his black box.
Yeah, it's very good.
Yeah.
I wonder why when the practice of like, hey, I'm a captain on a ship, I should keep a diary, and then like this becomes important.
I think that's
it just
probably,
like becomes something
I think
that
that kind
all
of record
of them
keeping
do.
is it's important.
Yeah,
I mean that's basically Marco Polo.
The game?
No, the explorer.
Isn't he Portuguese?
No,
Spanish.
I think he's Spanish. Yeah. Or no, he was Italian.
Oh, gross.
Sorry,
they're rude. When we went to Portugal, they said Italians are rude.
Yeah.
Yeah. So. Was it Dracula that's on this boat? I mean, the Demeter is the boat that took Dracula. So
it is, yeah.
In this movie, it is Dracula.
I'm trying to remember. I think in this movie, I think they're able to like defeat the monster, if I remember right. But yeah, it's been a minute since I've seen it. So
yeah, and a lot of things they talk about, like in different movie adaptations, Dracula brings the plague. I think that's something in Nosferatu.
Is condemned, as like a plague ship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's not really what's happening or in this book. Yeah. He does not bring the plague with him. I mean,
but
he's bringing
the ship is
evil.
Condemned as like a plague ship. So he like loses access to his dirt.
Well, what happens? Well, because he has a company that's supposed to claim his dirt. And the whole town is amazed because this ghost ship, that was just flailing in the wind, not only landed where it's supposed to land, there are people there that come like the next day to claim all the stuff on the boat. So they call it like a 9 days wonder of how this ship made it. So Dracula, he steers the ship onto port eventually. Once it grounds, he's in the form of a wolf, and he jumps off the boat like as soon as it touches land, that wolf jumps off. Because in the newspaper article that you're learning about this from, they're like, a dog, huge dog jumps off, and we're wondering where it is, and we hope it doesn't like start
biting people. Yeah.
And guess what? It does.
It does immediately. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think what's interesting is he pretty quickly goes after Lucy.
Yeah, Lucy. In that class I was talking about, they're saying that Lucy and Renfield are just more open to Dracula's influence.
And this is the thing, in the Nosferatu movie, the Mina character, which she's not called Mina in that, I don't believe, but she's the one who's having like visions and sleepwalking and like having this sort of spiritual connection to the monster.
Yeah.
And this is Lucy, who like, so like I think that character was sort of Ellen. Her name is Ellen.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think the characters sort of like become like an amalgamation, like, you know, like of the chosen one. But in this, it's like, it's not a chosen one thing. It's like Lucy's more open to it. She's more susceptible. So she's easier to consume.
Yeah. And I think they're using her sleepwalking thing as just like, oh, she's just more open to influence.
Yeah.
Because she can't even like control herself when she's sleeping, kind of a thing.
Yeah. And
She's
like,
looser in her
and this
mind.
was like one thing that I wasn't really sure, but it seems like Dracula finds her because like she and Mina are sitting on a bench that turns out to be the grave of somebody who committed suicide.
Yeah. So that's where Dracula can hide.
Yeah, he's hiding in this
in
like,
the soil,
unconsecrated grave.
Yeah. And then there's a bench right there that just happens to be Mina and Lucy's favorite spot to like look at the ocean and hang out.
Mm-hmm.
And so Lucy again is just more susceptible to his wiles.
Yeah.
So she's the one who gets because I think the first time he gets her is she sleepwalks out to that location.
Yeah.
And he bites her.
Yeah.
And Mina goes out looking for her. Mina.
Mina.
Yeah, sorry. I keep getting that mixed up. I'm sorry.
Yeah, the whole time we were reading this, you're like, wait, Mia? Like Mina? Yeah,
yeah, I don't know why I keep thinking
Maya?
Mia.
Yeah.
Yeah, Maya.
Like Luna? Like who are is like yeah, I don't know why the female names were really tough for you.
And something we haven't talked about that I think is fun is that you were actually in the Dracula play in college.
Yeah, I was Lucy.
Yeah, you were Lucy.
Westenra.
Lucy, Lucy.
Goosey Lucy, as they called her.
Yeah, so in the play, how did they portray this character as well? Like, were they saying that she's like more...
the sleepwalking is
mental.
not in it, but it's more like, oh, she's like this flirty, you know, sort of debutante character.
She's a slut, so she gets what she deserves, kind of a thing.
Yeah, it's a bit of like, oh, she's like more open, and she's like, I'm just in love with like all of these guys. It's so hard to pick. I mean, I'm gonna pick the rich one, but I'm in love with all of them. It's so tough. Yeah, so that's kind of how she's written.
Yeah.
So,
and in the book, she's just like, how am I so lucky to have all these great people helping me out?
Yeah, she's very virginal and like pure. Like the pureness is something they hit on a lot in the book of like, oh, she's like so. Yeah,
the three guys. Yeah, out of the two of them, Lucy's definitely the more, I don't know, desirable,
virtuous. Yeah,
because the three guys are all in love with her.
Yeah,
you know, Mina has Harker, which is a good catch, you know, for her. And
but like it's interesting because
soulmates.
They're both orphans, so like it seems like they kind of grew up together in like sort of an orphanage setting, and that's how they knew each other. Like it's like you know a long-standing engagement from childhood.
Okay,
Yeah.
Mina and Lucy.
Mina and Jonathan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I didn't really realize the whole orphan thing with Jonathan that much.
Yeah, when she's like, oh, it's just like, it's so hard because like his benefactor passes away in the book. And she's like, it's so hard because like neither of us have ever had a father, but he was the closest we could either claim. So, yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of dead parents in this, like not a lot of parents.
Yeah. Yeah, that's an interesting trope.
Yeah, because like Arthur's dad is very ill, Lucy's mother is very ill, and actually ends up having a heart attack and dying on top of her.
On top of Lucy, yeah.
Like, and then Lucy dies like an hour later. It's like fucked. Like,
yeah, it's not great.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Lucy starts getting, sick from getting drained out because he doesn't just drain her all in one night.
Mm-hmm.
It's a slow burn of feeding off of her multiple times, and the doctor. Dr. Seward. Thank you.
And Seward is interesting because his diary is all done in phonographs, which like had not been like were not really in play.
That's a new technology.
This is pretty new technology. I mean, like it had been around, but like it wasn't commonly used. So like this is kind of like the first like somebody just kind of casually having access to this technology and using it in this context.
Yeah.
Of like recording his thoughts, basically doing his own little podcast.
Oh wow, yeah. He's the first
He's
documented
the first
podcaster. Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, I do like that. The audio thing of this book is standing out. Did you think Dracula's scary? I guess we're spooky season. Are we getting to? Is he scary to you?
And this is like a big thing for me with vampires. I think vampires are at their best when they're scary. I don't like sexy vampires.
Can you get okay? So the Twilight vampires, you'd say that. Not scary.
Yeah, or like even sometimes like interview with a vampire. I mean, I do really love that like story in that show, but like they're too hot. They're too like sexy.
Yeah, I mean they can be ferocious and
the
dangerous.
True Bloods,
Yeah, True Blood also. I mean, I was in on that shit for the first 5 seasons.
I mean, it's fun, but I do prefer a vampire when they're kind of like grotesque. Like there's something about the way they describe Dracula, like where he's really pale and his lips are blood red and he's sort of bloated after he's eaten. So
but he looks like a normal guy.
Yeah, and this is like a Salem's Lot. Like King also uses this kind of description of like the leech, like parasitic thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that.
And I just think that's like interesting as like a monster versus like the hot thing that everybody wants to fuck.
Yeah, Dracula does not fuck once in this book.
I mean, he bites a lot, which is
He bites,
allegorical
yes,
for fucking.
allegory, but he ain't
He's
getting,
allegorically
he's
fucking.
getting his teeth wet,
Yeah.
not his dick.
Do you think he's scary?
I guess yes, but more about like the things that he represents.
Yeah.
You know, letting evil in, and then it has control over you, or
Yeah.
you know, those kind of metaphors. I guess.
And I'm
more
so
so
used to
than-
this story, and you are probably too, but like this isn't scary to me, like in reading it. But I'm sure at the time people were like, "Fuck, this is
Yeah,
like
it's hard
so
to put
spooky."
yourself
Yeah.
in the shoes of somebody reading this for the first time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it doesn't hit me the way like the Babadook scared me,
Mhm.
but I mean the demon possession thing does scare me because ultimately this is a demon, you know,
Yeah.
that's kind of taken over somebody's body in a way. Because when
Yeah.
they kill them, when they do kill Lucy, they're like, oh, her soul is like, you know, you can tell that her soul's no longer, you know, trapped
Mhm.
or whatever. They're set free in a way.
Yeah. And it's so interesting because, like, I mean, right before Lucy dies, all three of her boyfs are donating blood to her.
Yes, there's
Which is like-
transfusions.
Yeah. Which is like a very quick and dirty, like, Helsing is like, she needs blood. Like, it's either going to be you or me. And like, they're like, it's got to be. So Arthur Homewood,
And then
Homewood
he
is first.
stumbles in, and then
Yeah.
they're like, no, you.
It's got to be you as the fiance.
Yeah.
So like, and that's sort of like this marriage between like Seward, Homewood, Arthur, and Quincy, where they're like all giving blood to her. And like Seward has this line of like, there is something about like seeing the woman you love most in the world, and like your blood is inside of her.
Yeah.
You know,
being like very intimate. Because even when like
Yeah.
Van Helsing gets the other guy, Stoker,
Seward,
Stewart, yeah, to give her blood, he's like, don't tell Arthur.
don't tell Arthur. That's his
'cause
wife.
he's
You
gonna
know,
go
it's just
crazy
yeah,
with
like your
jealousy.
fluids are in her. It's crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, so the whole thing about blood types isn't really known at this time,
It's
so
3
it just
years
works.
before they figured out what blood types
Yeah,
were.
yeah.
So they're just kind of quick and loose, just
Yeah, I
like,
was saying maybe Lucy's the universal receiver.
yeah, maybe.
You know, that's a real thing?
I think there is
Because
like
O is like a universal
O
donor.
negative is donor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know there's a universal donor. I didn't know if
believe
there's a
it's like-
universal receiver.
I want to say AB positive might be like a universe, like your.
It's funny that it's not the same thing. You think that the universal
be
donor
like
could
back
be
and
the
forth.
yeah. But anyway,
Yeah.
science is weird.
Science is weird.
And
That's a good
vampires, that makes sense.
Vampires, science, weird.
Right. Yeah, so Dracula can turn into a wolf, he can turn into a bat. He can control wolves.
Which is okay. This is a big thing in this book. Usually, like in these stories, I mean, like in later versions, Renfield is a bigger part, which I think is like a
Yes.
better narrative use of him, where he's the one who's kind of doing all the groundwork, all the day work for
Yeah,
Dracula.
he like gets the soil and puts it in his castle
yeah,
or
he's
his
like carrying him
lair.
around.
Yeah, he's
like
doing a lot of,
doing all the sneaking,
and that's
breaking
something
and
that
entering.
King uses in Salem's Lot.
Yeah.
There's like a familiar
The butler
that's doing all
character.
the
Yeah.
all the work for.
But in this, he's like, he doesn't have it. But like, there's a part where Dracula gives laudanum to some of Lucy's maids to make them go
Yeah.
to sleep.
Mhm.
And it's just so like, it's so banal.
mundane. in a way.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. It's such a mundane way to like handle this problem of yours. He's like, it's just like funny to think of this like, you know, pale man with pink lips, and he's like sneaking in there and putting laudanum in like the brandy,
sherry,
in the
yeah.
sherry,
Yeah.
not the brandy. So,
Yeah, and brandy is like a cure-all for a lot of things
Yeah.
at this time.
so the maids all get knocked out, and that's how he's able to finish Lucy off.
But I
and,
mean,
like,
he
and
could
her-
have finished her off with those, and killed those people as well. But he's
Yeah.
wanting to be secretive.
Yeah, exactly. He could have taken all of those maids and like just.
He just doesn't want to rock the boat too much before he knows what's what in
Yeah.
England, I think.
And
you
I guess
know?
it's like, how much blood does he need, right?
Yeah, I don't think he needs more than he's taking.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, if he needs
It's not
to
like he
drain
can,
a whole body, like
stock
in
up on
Blade,
it. Yeah.
you know, in Blade, they bite somebody, they drain them all at once,
Mhm.
and then they turn immediately.
Mhm.
There's no exchange of fluids that has to happen.
Yeah,
in
the
Blade.
exchange is important. in
Yeah,
this.
I do like that because that also had to happen in Buffy.
Mhm.
And Buffy, I think, was my first really
I
big
think it's like a
introduction
pretty
to.
popular vampire trope of like
Yeah.
the fluid
That's
exchange.
a classic
Yeah.
kind of thing, I think. Yeah. So Lucy eventually ends up dying because Seward gets Van Helsing because he knows that he can't help Lucy with whatever's going on with her.
Mhm.
Arthur enlists Seward because he's like, Lucy's acting weird.
Mhm.
Help me out. And so yeah, and then Van Helsing starts noticing these vampire traits or whatever, and he's doing research, and he gets his friend to send him over a bunch of garlic, and he gets his friend to do the
I think that's very interesting the way they described the turning, like that her face gets colder. Like she becomes like, she's like usually like a very warm and like kind person, but there's like a coolness and like a hate in her eyes that he sees.
I don't recall that.
Yeah,
but
and like
it's
her
interesting.
and like the gums, like her gums get very pale and like recede, so like her teeth get very like pointed and like long and sharp. So
yeah.
yeah.
And eventually she does, there's like 3 different transfusions. She ends up dying anyway because her mom is ignorant, and like people keep leaving her alone, and Dracula keeps finding
Well, and then like
different ways
this
to
is
get
a
to
big
her.
thing in the book that pissed me off with like Helsing, and like when I was like
Van
Van Helsing is bad at his job, or he's like bad at this because he tells Seward like under no circumstances can you go to sleep. You need to stay awake every night, and you need to be watching her. You need to be with her, but like you cannot leave her alone.
Yeah, and this is when Van Helsing's going to research vampire stuff so he can like
and he's like,
diagnose
it has to be you. It cannot be anyone else. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Seward is like up for 3 days straight. He's like he does not sleep at all for like 3 days, and then eventually he can't maintain it, so he like falls asleep. And then she gets bitten and taken on and like almost taken. Do you not remember this part?
I don't. I recall that he gives her the infusion, and Stuart, and then Van Helsing's like, okay, you go get stronger.
Yeah.
So Van Helsing watches her for like 2 nights.
No, in the beginning of it, where he's like, it's like one of the when he's first researching, he's like, it can only be you, and it's like for several nights.
This is before he starts getting the garlic and stuff. Okay.
Yeah. And he's like, you can't sleep, whatever. And he like falls asleep, and she gets bitten some more. But it's like, that this is like impossible for a human being to sustain, like that he cannot do it, and how important it is for somebody to be with her. Like this is the time to loop in like somebody else, and to be like, like something is happening at night. She cannot be left alone unmonitored, And
this is a big thing in the story of Van Helsing having to convince everybody.
Yeah.
Very tediously that the vampire thing is real.
Honestly, it's the worst part of the book. It's because it
probably
takes
the hardest part to get to.
It's so long.
Yeah.
It's like such a slog of him. And because like the way that they do it in the book is it's like philosophical theory, right? Where he's like, I'm going to tell you this thing, and then we're going to like go down this. And he like Seward's like, I don't understand what you're saying. Like, I don't know what you're trying to get me to say or think.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm trying to get you to believe in something you can't, and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, all right. And then it's just like, then we go more. It's just,
yeah. This is after Lucy's dead, and her corpse is, she's been changed, and she's now stealing young kids from like the playground.
And this is interesting too, because before that she's described as being a blonde woman, but the bloofer lady, which is like the character that's like the children call her,
that's like the Cockney slang for beautiful lady.
Oh, is that what that is?
Yes.
Oh.
They're saying, so they're lower class kids that no one's caring about, that they get stolen.
Yeah.
And
but her hair turns dark when she's like, and then like, and the bloofer lady is like a more sexual version. Like she, like when she arises, she immediately she tries to like hit on Arthur and be like, ooh, kiss me, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, don't kiss her. She's gonna.
Yeah. Like Van Helsing has to like restrain him physically from kissing her, because she was like,
but she gets very like slay, which is like this repression.
Ditch effort to turn him.
Yeah. And like, oh, she was such a good woman, and now she's a bad one.
Yeah, that's a weird one, because her like eternal soul is battling with the vampire, because like she tries to get him to kiss her. Van Helsing pulls him back. Then she's like, oh, thank you, that's so good. I can like die rest.
In peace,
Yeah, and then Arthur can come kiss her on the forehead and say goodbye, and then she like dies. It's a weird back and forth. And then when she gets buried, they're like, we have to make sure, at this point, Van Helsing's like, we have to cut off her head, take out her heart. Like, that's how they kill vampires.
And it's interesting because Helsing is asking permission throughout the book to do these things. He knows that he has to do this, and
but they're not going to the law. They're talking to each other.
But he's like trying to get like Arthur's permission. He's like,
because they have to get the coroner to like not write about this or any, to like kind of turn the other cheek.
Yeah, they're trying to like do all this like underhanded stuff, but he like knows it has to happen. But a lot of children die in the interim when he's just like, come on, you guys. Like I just don't feel like he's trying with enough urgency as the situation calls for.
Yeah, Van Helsing isn't like the like in that movie Van Helsing with
Hugh Jackman.
Yeah, Hugh Jackman is probably my favorite Van Helsing.
He's very competent. He's got his shit together. You know, even like Anthony Hopkins in the Coppola, like he like has a very distinct plan and he's like pushing forward. Like every other Helsing is competent. And this guy's just sort of like an old bumbling man who's sort of like, oh, I don't know. Like, it'd be pretty great if we could just, cut her head off, but nobody will let me. So, I guess kids have to die.
Yeah, it's not this, pointed rivalry that it's depicted in other movies.
Yes,
as it
like
goes
these
on,
are like
as time goes
ancient
enemies.
foes that have that are doomed to fight each other over and over. Like Helsing is sort of stumbling into it.
Yeah.
And like
But Dracula does start to take it personal. And that's something that he's like, okay, these people came at me.
And that's why he goes for Mina. Because like specifically like these men are bothering with his shit. And then he's like, fine, like I'm going to like take a woman that you think.
I'm going to take something that's
like.
close to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a way, he's more about getting back at Van Helsing than Mina having some kind of, magic.
Yeah, and that's like something I like, and I prefer in the book versus a lot of the stories, which is that usually Mina is portrayed as being like an ancient, like reincarnated wife of Dracula.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Like that happens a lot in these retellings.
Is that what it was in the play?
I don't think so. I think this is like the play stuck closer to the book.
So what happens to Lucy in the play? I'm curious because I never saw it.
She dies.
Okay, but like...
And becomes a vampire. They do the hooplu for lady scene. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you're stealing children?
Yeah.
When you were...
There's not like children in the play.
When you portrayed Lucy?
Yeah, I think in the play they depicted that with like baby shoes, like she had like a collection of baby shoes.
Yeah, which is creepy.
Yeah, because you don't have a child, you can't carry a child around.
But you did this in college.
Yeah, it was college.
So I like to think the college theater budget is just like little Nikes.
Yeah,
like you just had little
spray painted Nikes.
Yeah, they're just dirty as shit.
Yeah. But they were all spray painted white, so everything was white.
Yeah. Like little booties.
Little booties.
Little baby booties.
Little baby booties.
Around your neck.
Mm-hmm.
How did you die? In the play?
Helsing stabs her, which was played by my college roommate, Cody, and my good friend. Yeah, that's how we met, became roommates.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, we went to the same theater school, just if anybody was interested in that. Yeah.
I thought your play, you never saw any of my plays.
Sorry, no. I don't think I went and saw Dracula. I saw the one after Dracula.
I don't remember that. I wasn't in it.
I can't remember it either.
Doesn't matter, because I wasn't in it.
Yeah, sorry.
That's fine.
Yeah, we were ships passing in the night then.
Yeah. Wow. It's beautiful.
Yeah. Now we're talking about Dracula.
Yeah.
Which one of us was the Demeter? If we were ships passing in the night and the Demeter was a ship in Dracula.
Which one of us goes down as a plague ship? Hard to say.
It didn't go down in the book.
Yeah.
It made it to its port.
Which one of us has a captain wrapping themselves to the mast and being like, ooh.
Sounds like a you thing.
What? I think we're both equally the Demeter in this relationship.
Okay, that's good. Yeah. I like that. So they do eventually, he painstakingly convinces everybody, Arthur, Quincy, Stuart, and now, so while Lucy's going through her whole getting bitten by Dracula thing, Mina, has gone to Turkey to get Harker.
Yeah, where she's been like diagnosed. He's like living with some nuns.
Yeah, he's in a sanatorium.
Got a blood fever. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's been like raving about demons and stuff.
And they get married there.
Yeah, they get married there. She comes back all booed up.
And she does not know how sick Lucy is.
Yeah.
So I don't think she ever sees Lucy alive again.
No, I don't think she sees her again. And
one thing that is so funny to me in this, because it's based on like diary keeping and letter writing, there's a lot of parts where they're like, oh, the monster is in the room. I have to like go and deal with this. Let me finish this sentence as I
I mean, there's a little bit of that. I mean, maybe not to that extent. But...
No, there's like a part where Seward's literally like, hark, Renfield has escaped. I must go.
Yeah, I guess. Like, well, he's talking into his thing.
Yeah, but he's like saying, hark, Renfield has escaped.
Yeah, hurry.
He's like, he's running it. Like if I think with a phonograph, I'm not entirely sure, but I'm assuming it's like you have like
to crank it.
Yeah, it's a wax thing, and you have to like, it's not an automated system. He's doing that, and he's like, oh my god, like there's like a madman on the loose. I've got to go get him. And
that's a little hard. Yeah, to read now and be not think it's silly.
Yeah,
this book makes you have to really think about like when things are taking place, because like the letters and journal entries are like dated. And they're talking about something that happened like yesterday or this morning or a day or two ago. So I have to like put all these things together. That I really enjoyed listening to that class about it, because that's when I found out. That's when I like really heard like, oh, Dracula was hiding in this suicide's grave, and he came up and he killed one of the guys that was like the
caretaker.
He's like, oh, I also like to sit here at nightfall and look at the ocean. So it's like they find him dead on that bench.
Yeah.
So it's
which is interesting because he he'll drain that guy, but for something like Lucy or Mina, he like draws out the experience.
His neck was broken, so
he wasn't feeding.
They might have fed on it. He might have fed on him, but he was saying that his like neck was broken.
Yeah.
In that one. Yeah. So, you know, it's like it really encourages you to have to read the text carefully and think about it, which is, I think, it maybe been part of the fun back then.
Yeah. There's like a mystery to it where the clues are sort of sprinkled.
It together,
like, how do you know where, if you can read the clues, you know where the monster's coming from.
Yeah. I mean, in the Renfield thing, you know, there's a little bit of a parallel. I mean, it is kind of a side character because he's not as active, like we were saying in all the movies. He's in the insane asylum the whole time. And he's eating flies, and then he's like keeping
trying
tallies.
To eat cats, but like they won't let
him. They won't let him
have
have a cat. He eats birds at one point.
Yeah,
because he's collecting spiders, and then he's collecting flies and feeding them to spiders. And he's like, "Oh, 3 flies equals 1 spider." And like so, he starts because he wants to live forever as well. So he's trying to figure out a way to do that, and that's why he's
trying to do the bloodbath of it.
Yeah, so he's drawn to Dracula. And then when Dracula doesn't because he like breaks out of his room and Dracula's new house in London is right next to the insane asylum. So he's like speaking to Dracula through the bars. Yeah. And Dracula doesn't want anything to do with him really.
Yeah. And it's interesting. One thing that the Dracula does a lot is he's mist in the room. Like he's like
Dracula takes the form of mist.
Yeah. And they're like, it happens, I think, with Renfield and then again with Mina, where they're like going to bed and they're like, it's weird that the room is so misty, but whatever, I'm just going to close the window and go to bed.
Yeah, they'll say specks in the room or something like that. And Renfield, he eventually meets Mina, and he's like so taken with her that he's like, okay, I have to save her from Dracula. And he fights her. At one time he like grabs the mist. Yeah. And he's fighting. He's like, I know madmen are stronger. So he like grabs the mist and he starts fighting with Dracula at that point. And then Dracula kills him.
Yeah. Like breaks it's kind of like maybe one of the more horrific scenes because he breaks his spine. And then his like face is really beat up and he's like basically like lying on the ground and they're like coming to him and
they're still talking to him.
Yeah, Renfield is like, keep Madam Mina, keep her safe and keep her protected. And like he's like, I can't feel my feet, I can't feel my hand. It's like he's like slowly dying and it's like a pretty gruesome like death.
But all the hints you get from Renfield are like they were able to piece together when Dracula's the strongest. Like he can turn into an animal at midnight or like that is like certain times a day when he's strongest.
He's a good like exposition of
and you get that from the Renfield character because Renfield's bouts of madness come at him like at nightfall and then at midnight. Mina, because Mina takes all this information, all these journal entries, and she's putting them together, and she's the one who like sees the patterns. She is able to, I mean, they wouldn't have been able to kill Dracula without Mina.
Yeah. I mean, I think she's a really interesting female character. She's basically like a code breaker.
And that's why, in that class there, he was making the argument that Stoker's actually a feminist. Because Mina is so capable, and they're all so surprised that she is.
They're like, wow, you never see a man brain and woman body.
But like the whole fault with the man thing or stupid men is they're like, she must be meant for something great if she's so smart. And they're like, maybe this is the thing she was meant for, to like get rid of this demon,
one, like this moment. And they're like, nah, probably like, not that though.
But they're dumb men and they're like, we have to protect her, her. And then when they ghost or when they freeze her out, that's when she's when she gets bit by Dracula. That's when she becomes under his thrall.
Oh, it's too much for her, so we gotta we can't tell her.
And she like knows this is gonna happen. She's like, how do I keep them from ghosting me out, basically, or icing me out? And they do it anyway. She accepts it because she's so noble. And then she gets bitten, and then she's like, no, I have to be more active in this.
The thing about Mina that I think is kind of frustrating in a female character, and like you're not going to see it in a book like this, right? But she never gets mad at like the way she's being treated. She sort of just takes it on the chin the whole time, and she's like, oh, these noblemen who love me so much, and I'm so blessed that they want to take care of me. Even though they're killing her.
She's like, I just want to have his babies.
Honestly. Even though there's like a part where she translates, like she and Jonathan know shorthand and like it's a way
it's a way for them to communicate.
And like she wants to help him in his work and whatever. But anyway, like she translates like all the writings from shorthand into something that like Helsing can process. And he's like, wow, this bitch is so smart.
Van Helsing does love Mina. He's like in love with her.
He's like, wow, this lady is what is he's like, he says like you're the best woman in the world because he has that man brain.
And I do love that there are plenty of times where they're like, a man is so great because they do this.
Yeah.
And men are needed to do this. And
Yeah.
I was curious on what your take was on whenever Bram Stoker wrote those big lines.
Yeah,
I'm like, yeah, a man has to be around to open jars, Mallory. Not for you, but you know,
we've got like
for the world.
Yeah.
The jar's a metaphor.
The jar's a metaphor for
Hard shit.
Hard shit. I mean, women can do hard shit.
Sure.
This is like a big thing. I mean, like this is something that Reese Witherspoon says. Like she said a lot in her writing of like, what's the most frustrating thing about men writing stories is that they always have this like thing where like the woman is like, what do we do? Like there's an alien, there's a monster, there's a vampire. Like what should we do? Like turning to the men around her and like, what do we do? And like in a real life scenario, like a woman would never ask. Like she would just be like, yeah, this is what we do. Get in line. Like this is where we're gonna go. Like a woman would never ask for a man's advice on this. So
that's interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting take.
So, and that's like the thing I want from Mina because she knows and she's always like, what do we do, men? And she's like, this is what we do. This is what's happening.
I think that's what makes her so cool. She knows the constraints of her world and she's, knows how to manipulate them to get what she needs.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, for sure.
I do think that's, you
I
could
mean,
see
she's
it
written
both
for
ways.
her time.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I think if you interpret her and like, that's like another thing with Mina is that she's never written as intelligent as she is in any other story.
Yeah.
She's always like a romantic
damsel in distress.
Yeah, she's a romantic character. But like in the original, like she is like a genius.
Who would you cast as her in a movie now? Reese Witherspoon?
Zendaya.
Zendaya. Yeah, dude. Hell yeah.
Right? Yeah.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
And then what's it? Tom Holland could be Harker? Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Classically. Put them together. Yeah.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gary Oldman, Dracula again. I think he could do it.
Again?
Yeah.
Yeah, they de-age him.
Yeah, or he could be Helsing. He'd be a good Helsing now.
Yeah, he could play Van Helsing now. It'd be interesting. Yeah, and then Mads Mikkelsen could be Dracula.
Oh, yeah, he'd be great Dracula.
Mm-hmm.
Lee Pace, hot Dracula.
Lee Pace. Yeah, he'd be a good Dracula.
Yeah.
We just watched Foundation.
Yeah, so we're like we're really
like
into Lee Pace's body of work.
You know what I love
now?
is that he's an American playing a British person.
Yeah.
You don't get that a lot, and it's mostly the reverse,
he's
which
very
I don't
British
like.
coded. Yeah, right.
Yeah, I wish, Superman should be American. Batman should be played by an American.
Right.
Because they're classic American characters.
Mm-hmm.
The only other person to do it?
Yeah.
Robert Downey Jr. is the only American to play like a British person.
Mm-hmm.
How come they can be racist about it, but we can't?
What?
They're more like nationalists about like who plays their heroes. Like in in Harry Potter,
I mean,
they're like,
Meryl Streep
these all have
did
to be
Margaret
British.
Thatcher, but of course they all hate Margaret Thatcher. So they're like, yeah, have an American do it. That's fine.
Yeah. I was thinking maybe Natalie Portman,
As
could
Mina?
have been Mina, yeah.
Modern
day,
I
if
think
they
she's,
did
aged out of the character because Mina's like young 20s. So
I didn't know you thought she was such an old hag.
I don't think she's an old hag. I think it's like, I think
she could
it
play
happens
Lucy's
a lot.
mom.
Yeah. But I think it's like Natalie's like a more mature actress at this point. Like she's more like Mina's not a mature character necessarily.
Yeah.
So.
I guess before we, start wrapping it up, get to the end of the story. So yeah, Mina gets bitten. They end up chasing Dracula down because he knows Van Helsing's onto him, or that the group is onto him. He starts booking
flees,
it. Yeah, because
back to Transylvania.
Yeah, because he just knows that he can't.
Yeah, he can't actively.
He's on their turf.
That's like, this is the interesting thing because he's like this evil thing. Like
he's the
can't stand
foreigner.
against actual resistance.
Yeah,
so it works if nobody's really paying attention.
Right. Yeah.
But so.
Yeah, that's also a great metaphor for
metaphor for those times. Yeah.
Yeah. So he starts booking it back to Transylvania.
Yeah, and they're chasing him
He's
down.
on a boat.
Yeah.
He can't trust anybody to be like,
and
hey,
they're
move
also
faster.
they use hypnotism, like Helsing hypnotizes Mina because she has a psychic connection with Dracula now.
Yeah.
And they're following him through that. And then they also realize that if it's going one way, it's going back the other. So they have to ice her out again. So.
Yeah. But at first they can do it because Dracula thinks so little of Mina that he's just like, whatever, bitch, I'm out.
Yeah.
Like,
which I think is.
And he doesn't even bring his brides to England.
Yeah.
London. Yeah. He just leaves them there.
Yeah. Just like
so they had to fend for themselves.
Yeah.
In Turkey land.
But I just would really prefer this telling of like Mina is not this like chosen reincarnated bride. Like she's like an independent, intelligent person who's caught up in like the shit. She's like more of a Sigourney Weaver in the Alien.
Yeah, that's
like
fine.
that kind of character.
Yeah.
So.
So they start chasing him down. Then there's an eventual, actual like they're running him down on horses, and he's got I can't say gypsy. What's the right word?
You just said it.
Yeah, but I'll bleep it out.
Oh, gotcha.
Romani, which are, traveling people
Yes.
from back in the day.
They're still alive now.
They're still around. Yeah, they pickpocket you in London.
That's racist.
Those are all the videos when we were going to Italy. They're like, this is how you don't get pickpocketed.
Yeah, but you're like a pretty broad take on people. Like all of them are pickpockets.
Well, I mean, I'm just trying to let the audience know
that specifically
not
this
that they
race
pickpocket,
of
but
people
I'm
will
trying
be
to let them in
you.
on the people I'm talking about.
Don't wink at the camera when you say that.
We all know who I'm talking about.
Don't wink at the camera when you say that.
I can't wink.
Yeah.
So they're getting run. Yeah, chasing him down. He's got these people helping him out.
Yeah, like as he's paid them to.
He's paid them. Yeah, they're not like enthralled to his.
Yeah, they're employees.
Yeah. So yeah, they have all the Smith and Wessons and stuff from that Quincy insisted on having. Yeah. So they're like sharpshooting them on horses, and they run him down.
Which this battle has never been portrayed this way in any media.
It happens so quickly,
and it's such a good battle, right? Where they're like riding them down. They got it's like very Old West, like
yes,
thing.
It is like a Western, yes. And then they Quincy and Harker jump on Dracula. Quincy stabs him in the heart, but gets stabbed by Dracula.
R.I.P. Quincy.
Yeah, and Harker slits his throat. Which also Harker, he's pretty bold as well.
I mean that's like one thing they describe him as a lot. It was like, oh, this guy like he seems like he's gonna be a little like solicitor, like he's not gonna be
he's not a bitch,
a strong guy or whatever. But they're like, oh, this guy's like stalwart, and he withstood a lot of torture while he was at Dracula's castle. So he like there's like a gumption to him. Yeah,
the psychological torture that Dracula was doing to him at his castle was very interesting.
Yeah.
Because like pretty quickly he knows that Dracula is like going to kill him.
Yeah.
And like he can't leave. And he's just like, I have to prolong my chances is what he's saying. He's like, I'm not going to confront him. My only option is to prolong my chances or, my options.
Yeah.
And a lot of it's just like, hey, I got to think about this. I got to sit and think about this. And it's interesting.
Yeah, it's an interesting character for sure.
Yeah, and eventually he is basically like, I want to leave. And Dracula's like, okay, you can leave. He opens the door and there's a bunch of wolves waiting to get him. And he's like, no, close the door.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good. I thought it was a good scene. And Dracula's like just fucking with him. He's just like feeding off his fear.
Yeah.
In a way.
Yeah, in the Nosferatu movie, this is like my favorite part of the movie where it's the Jonathan Harker character and Nosferatu like together
like in his ass.
And like darkness, and this guy's like not drinking and he's just being fucking weird, and you're in his home trapped, and it's so like uncomfortable. And then also like this is like kind of like I don't know if this is scary because it's not what I'm used to, or like this guy is actually being a creep.
Yeah, and it is weird because Dracula's doing all the servant stuff because he doesn't have servants. So he was the guy driving him on the coach to his house. He makes his bed in the morning when he leaves. He has to be cooking all the food for him.
Which is so funny.
He talks about getting a roast chicken.
Like you think about like Dracula being like the spooky character, but then he's also doing all this like
rosemary.
It is like, ooh, this would be really good in the potatoes.
And so I mean, for this month that Harker's living at his house, he's cooking for him breakfast and dinner.
Yeah, to like not raise suspicions for him.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So he's getting food delivered to the house somehow.
Yeah. Even though everybody knows.
Or he has a garden out back that you can't see.
So he's also gardening and butchering chickens for Harker.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
It is a funny.
I feel like this would be like a good sketch.
Yeah, that is funny. But yeah, so in the modern day, who do you think would fight Dracula? Like if they were going to have like a Blade, I guess is my first thought.
Oh, who would be like the contemporary?
Yeah, I guess like vampire, a contemporary,
like a character, or
I think like Jack Reacher.
Okay.
We watched Reacher recently.
Yeah. I mean, like, I guess, like, I've been playing a lot of Baldur's Gate recently, Baldur's Gate 3. And there's, like, a vampire fight in that game where you take on, like, a superpower vampire. And the easiest way to do it is if you have your cleric shoutout heart in the fight.
Cleric is a what?
Cleric is, like, it's a magic user. Wizard. It's a caster who, like, their powers are derived from their god. So they usually have a lot of spells to do.
They're kind of like a religious.
It's like a religious wizard, yeah. Yeah, but they have like spells that do radiant damage, which is like a damage type that vampires are super susceptible to because it's like the light. Yeah. So basically she does a lot of radiant damage, and then you have her equipped with a weapon that's basically giving off sunlight the whole time, and it dims his abilities to do anything, and then you just kind of knock him out with radiant.
Interesting.
D&D.
So your modern character to fight Dracula would be
A cleric.
your cleric from Baldur's Gate.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, yours is Blade, Jack
man.
Reacher.
I was trying to
Jack
think of
Reacher can't do any radiant damage.
No.
Yeah.
But he's pretty badass.
Yeah, but he can't do any. He's not
But
carrying
have you seen his
a
traps?
sun mace. So
Yeah. And Reacher fucks.
Reacher fucks. Yeah.
Reacher fucks.
Shadowheart fucks. Yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to think of a modern day thing. Yeah, I don't think Dracula would do good in a Foundation type show.
That's sci-fi. Yeah.
Empire could not defeat Dracula, I don't think.
We've watched a lot of that. So you're thinking what thing would take him on the best?
Yeah, I don't know. I did ask ChatGPT for ideas for things to talk about. One of them was, characters that would fight Dracula in modern day.
I guess Avengers seem like they'd be.
Yeah, Avengers are a big one.
Yeah. Superman probably not into Dracula.
Yeah, at least he couldn't get bitten, I think.
Yeah.
Because Dracula's magic. Dracula's magic.
Yes.
Does magic beat alien? Alien strength.
I think it depends on the kind of magic and the kind of alien strength.
Well, the thing with Shazam, he's magic.
Mm-hmm.
So he can take on Superman.
Right.
Because magic versus, a science-based,
the power types, yeah.
Yeah. There's something there, maybe.
Yeah. Maybe.
Maybe. Well, there's Creature Commandos, so that's...
Oh, yeah, that's magic.
Yeah, there's magic there. DC. Peacemaker. Yeah. Peacemaker could fight Dracula.
I guess I think any person that is aware of vampire lore is able to take on a vampire, right? It's in the Salem slot, it's the kid, who's the only one able to do it because he's the only one who believes, and he's the only one who knows what to do.
He's got all the, he's got all the knowledge.
So really, all you need is a belief that this monster is real and is attacking you.
Right. Do you think how long would it take for you to believe that?
Immediately. I'm very suspicious.
You're like, Dracula.
Yeah. This is fucking Dracula.
You see an old guy walking in the park when you're walking Pepper? You're like, Dracula.
That's not, garlic everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it'd take me a little while.
You think so?
Yes. Because I wouldn't want to be I'm crazy.
Yeah, that's always the thing in horror movies. I feel like it takes them too long to be this is the thing. There's trends online where you see videos of people being pranked with oh, this is a ghost. There's a ghost. This doll is being moved by a ghost. And usually in a horror movie, they're a thing kind of moves and the person's oh, I'm being crazy. That's weird or whatever. And they just kind of ignore it and it goes on for too long. And this it's a 3-second video. A guy sees a doll move in a way that's he's not expecting to, and he just kicks it into the wall. He's nope, not today. I don't even fucking care.
Yeah, I mean, I do think I'm more along the lines of if we were in some kind of Amityville horror situation where the wall started bleeding, I'd be we're out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not being maybe we can make it work.
Yeah, right. We could probably figure this out. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, I think I'm ready to believe immediately. I get spooked easy. So
I do think that there's some parallels with COVID because a lot of associations with Dracula are the plague.
Mm-hmm.
So if we did a modern day Dracula, there could be something about COVID.
Yeah,
everyone's staying inside, making it easier for him to prey on people.
Yeah, I do think there's something about vampire stories where they're cyclical, right? So they kind of go away for a little bit and then they kind of come back, and it's there's discussion that it's a recession indicator when they get very popular. So
yeah, I mean. 2008.
Yeah. Well, I think these stories
Twilight
are very
popped off pretty much.
There's it's very classical, it's very classist, right? So it's a person in power feeding in a parasitic relationship on the poor.
Yeah.
So,
that's good.
Yeah.
What are zombies?
Zombies are plague, sickness.
So it's Dracula.
No, but it's different.
Okay.
It's communicable, the way that zombieism spreads.
Isn't vampirism the same way?
No, so vampirism, it's a bite, but you have to do a exchange of fluids. Zombies, it's one bite and then you turn pretty fast.
Yeah.
So, but I do think there's probably parallels with the way those two stories grew in mythology, where it's the dead walking.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess this book coined the term the undead.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. It wasn't really a thing before that.
That's interesting. Yeah, and this was the third vampire novel to come out. The first two were The Vampire by Polidori, who was a contemporary of Byron's, and then Camilla, which is a lesbian pulpy vampire one, which is the first one to do the Lord thing.
Yeah, and that's something that came up in that class that I was listening to, where they're saying like, yeah, now we think vampire, obviously, she's lost blood and, we don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Vampire. But at the time, what played into the suspension, the horror of the book is that, like I said, people associated vampire with bat, not vampire with Dracula.
Yeah, they would not have any context for it.
Yeah. Which is interesting to
and
think
I think
about.
this is kind of where like when the lore of how to defeat a vampire was first written down.
Yeah.
So I like vampires as a monster because they're very contained too. It's like can't do sunlight, can't do crosses. Like
comes out at night.
They only come in if you let them. Like there's just like a lot of control on the situation. So like
only come in if you let them. That part scared me the most out of what you just said, because it's like, ooh, scary.
I mean, in Sinners,
Real
that was like
metaphor.
to me, that's the scariest part. With like the guy who's like, come on, just let me in. Like we can all just like have a party. And they're like, no, don't. And he's like, we can love each other. Yeah, that part to me is a little spooky. Like your friend is acting uncanny and
vampires are back right now. Nosferatu came out last year. Sinners, such a big hit.
Yeah. Interview with a Vampire is getting another season.
Yeah, all very different lore based stuff.
Yeah.
One of the things in that it was not frustrating, but I was disappointed in with Sinners is that the vampire lore was the thing. Not Michael B. Jordan, the director, Coogler, was the least interested in.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like he, had the Irish stuff, but like he wasn't really. I mean, the vampires having a hive mind, I don't really remember that in any other vampire lore stuff.
Yeah, I think I've seen it in different vampire stories.
I mean, he had vampire lore, but he wasn't like, this is what, like the Bible of what we're working with.
Yeah, like he kind of, he was kind of making it with his own lore. And then
it was
like
more of like
the eye thing, which I think is cinematically brilliant, like the way their eyes glow red as a predator, like a night predator.
Yeah. Or like silver or whatever. They just glowed, right?
Yeah, they glowed.
Yeah.
But the hive mind is interesting because it's a lot of like a vampire drinks from you and they get your memories. Like I've read that in stories before.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, anything else you think we didn't cover that you want to talk about with Dracula here? I'm glad you were able to pick it up and you liked it, because like I said, I was trying to get some comics to do it and they could not get past.
I've always been like a really big fan of this story. I mean, I did the play in college. I've seen all of the movie takes on it. I don't think I've ever actually read the full book. I think I did like a similar thing like as those comics who I picked, like, I mean, this is my copy that I tried to read, and then
when you were in the play.
Yeah. And then I was just like, this is boring.
Yeah. So I do think, it's a big boost for audio, because it's a great to listen to.
Do the audiobook. I mean, if you got the Audible, even though they're the devil, they've got Tim Curry.
Apparently they're ruining publishing. So yeah.
I saw something recently that they're like poking at the idea of getting into libraries, which I think is pretty diabolical. I do not like the idea of a business getting into a library.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, that aside, maybe
the real vampire is Bezos.
Yeah. Well, thanks for doing it with me. I appreciate you doing it and liking it. Yeah, because I listened to it, the book a couple years ago. I think during the pandemic, I listened to it. But then I don't know, something about it recently like really grabbed me. So
yeah, it's a great story. It's really fun. Quincy Morris for life. Yeah,
Quincy Morris all the way.
Yeah. That's like my biggest beef. I think in the book, like, he's such a fun, cool character, and no show has ever, or movie.
Yeah, the movies just condense a lot of these character traits
and
together.
He's one that's usually concise because he's kind of weird.
Yeah, he's cut out. Yeah.
He's like out of place almost. He's like a fish out of water in the whole story.
Yeah.
So more cowboy vampires, I guess, is what I'd like.
Dude, cowboy vampire hunters, dude.
Very cool. Yeah, that was like kind of a thing in Sinners. They had like the Comanche, right?
The Indians were hunting. Yeah. That was interesting.
Yeah, that was really cool.
I mean, that's
I want a whole movie about that.
Exactly. That's something that's hinting at a deeper lore that they don't really. Yeah, I mean, that was very good. It's great.
More lore. So it's great.
All right. I appreciate you doing this with me. More podcasts to come. I'm just kind of doing things that interest me, and right now, just listening and talking about books is interesting me. So, I mean, if you hung out for this whole thing, I appreciate it, and I appreciate you for doing this with me, Mallory.
Yeah, that's fun.
I'll let you sign us off however you see fit. We'll say Wakanda forever, be excellent to each other.
I don't want to say that.
Check out. Yeah, you don't have to say that.
Oh, I have to
that's
say
just
that.
what I say. You can sign off however you want.
Gotcha. I thought you were feeding me lines. Gotcha.
I obviously never got to the end of one of my pods. Great, cool.
What?
Check out her podcast. Let's Get Drunk and On
we don't record
audio
often,
only.
so there's not a lot to get through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cheers and do your best.
All right.
So
Thanks.